Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Grounded with John Tester and Maritza Giorgio. How you doing, Senator?
I'm doing good. Thanks for asking. I didn't know you cared, but at any rate, I was going to ask. My hat on the beginning doesn't have any logos on it. How'd you do that?
Well, technology is an amazing thing.
You erased my logo.
Well, I know we need to get the logo back because that's the group that we're going to get to sponsor our show, right?
Oh, really? Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, sure, it is. Absolutely.
Right?
It's good to see everybody on this Monday morning. It was an interesting weekend in the United States of America.
Yeah.
You're going to get to that. You're going to get to that.
We're going to get to that. I just wanted to make sure that we are streaming on all of our devices here. 1 second. I'm a little discombobulated this morning.
Are we seeing people join us?
I think so. Yeah, we have. Yeah, that's what I was going to look for. Okay, we are there. We had a lot happen over the weekend, and we're going to talk about it. But I do want to tell our folks watching with us and listening right now, we are going to do some live headlines here right now on Substack ahead of our conversation with Senator Mark Kelly of Arizona. Of course, a husband, a father, a veteran, an astronaut. Most recently, one of the subjects of this video that prompted the President of the United States to amplify posts calling for 6 members of Congress to be hanged.
Yeah, we're going to get to the video with him and stuff, but this is the President of the United States. And like I said, we'll talk to Kelly about it, Senator Kelly. But if you take a look at what he's done with due process and what he's done with tariffs and what he continues to do in a whole lot of other areas, including the military being placed into towns around the country, these guys and gals that put the video up, I think were justified just to remind these 18, 19, 20-year-old kids, young men, young women, that because we have a president that tends to be unhinged a fair amount of the time, they should be looking at the legality of the orders that are given so that they don't do something illegal. Look, I remember Kent State. I remember it, and I was just a kid, but I remember it very, very well. I remember some of the things that happened in Vietnam when people in the service did things illegal. And for the other House members, and I think senators too, to come out and say these guys were really, really uncalled for, to put this in a word, that is bullshit. Because Congress has been gone since the president got sworn in. They haven't done anything. And to think that those guys on the Republican side of the aisle are going to stand up and call the president out on anything is just bullshit. And so I applaud the effort of people who have served in the military, who have sacrificed their life, who have been on active duty, who have been deployed, to step up and say, hey, these are the rules. Don't forget we have a constitution to live by. Because I think some people on the other side, and I've said this before, who wrap themselves in the Constitution ought to read it. And that's kind of where we're at. So I'm looking forward to visiting with Mark Kelly about what has transpired and the reaction of the president, who, by the way, I think if anybody was inappropriate on this, it was the president of the United States. If he didn't think he was going to be giving orders that did not follow the Constitution, illegal orders, I don't see why he would have responded this way. But he did. He did. And
yeah, we'll talk a lot more about this with Senator Kelly, of course, one of the subjects of that video. Let's talk about, first of all, this morning, there's a new Truth Social rant. And I know you love to talk about this, but this is about tariffs. I'm going to put it up on the screen. And basically, the president, there was a whole lot to do with the economy on the Sunday shows yesterday, and we're going to talk about this with Senator Kelly too. But basically, he went on a rant about how the tariffs just haven't kicked in yet. Like, we're not seeing the benefits yet, and the payments will be record-setting and put our nation on a new and unprecedented course. And he goes on again to say that we're the hottest country anywhere in the world. So this is new overnight.
Well, just remember this: when the president took over as president of the United States, we had the best economy in the world, and we didn't have the kind of inflation we had today. We had inflation, but it's on steroids now. And yeah, he's right. It's raised a bunch of money. The tariffs have been the biggest increase on the tax increase on the American people, probably in the history of this country. And we're not talking about tax increase on the uber rich. It's affecting the poor and the middle class even more. And so, and for Bessett to get on TV and deny all this stuff, he ought to go to work. Truthfully, get out of government and go to work in the private sector, and not as somebody on Wall Street, but somebody who's working for a living with their hands. And you'll find out what inflation is doing right now and what those tariffs are doing right now. Because the truth is working people in this country are getting hammered by these tariffs. And for the president to think that these are still getting paid for by foreign countries is absolutely, well, it speaks to the fact that he's really not paying attention to what the hell's going on.
Of course, we're waiting for the Supreme Court.
What's going on? Sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's okay. We're waiting for the Supreme Court to rule on that too. So
and they might bail him out on this one. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
See. Okay, there's a lot to talk about with Ukraine. First of all, we woke up to new headlines that there was another deadly attack on Kharkiv overnight amid these talks that the White House is saying, Marco Rubio saying are productive. Another 4 people killed, 17 more injured. And did you see the 60 Minutes piece last night on Ukraine?
Yeah, I absolutely saw it. And it was disgusting. And it was disgusting that we let somebody like Putin have any say in this conflict whatsoever. That son of a bitch is a bad, bad, bad man who attacked Ukraine for no reason. And this is a democracy that wants to be more like us and less like Russia. And the stuff that he is doing is unbelievable. And the fact that the president gives him time of day and any sort of respect whatsoever, I think speaks to where his values are, quite frankly. No, the story on 60 Minutes was incredibly disturbing and was incredibly, if it doesn't tell folks like Marco Rubio to wake the fuck up and quit taking plans from Russia and claiming it's your own, and then putting it forth as a peace plan when it turns over the vast majority of Ukraine to Russia, is crazy. And maybe I'm picking on Rubio in the wrong way, but this isn't the same Marco Rubio that I served with. I'll tell you that.
Well, we're going to get into the details of what you're talking about with this peace plan. But the thing that stuck out to me last night, I mean, the images were haunting. And there was one scene where this blast came and this woman got hit by shrapnel and they count her walk 2 steps. 2 steps. And then she falls over dead on the sidewalk. And that's just on a normal sidewalk in Ukraine. And 60 Minutes said it's the largest crime scene in the world. The country's top prosecutor said there are 178,000 open war crime investigations. So that story played last night. If you can go watch it, I recommend you do so. And it comes out at a critical time because of what Senator Tester just talked about. So there was this 28-point peace plan leaked last week. It was being sold as authored by the United States. And it raised eyebrows because it really did a lot for Russia and not a lot for Ukraine. We're talking about Ukraine giving up land to Russia. We're talking about Ukraine limiting the size of its military. We're talking about Ukraine not trying to join NATO again. But your former colleague, Senator Mike Rounds, raised some alarms, coming out with some new information over the weekend. He said that Secretary of State Marco Rubio told him and other lawmakers that this was a Russian proposal, not a U.S. plan. Mike Rounds said, it is not our recommendation. It is not our peace plan. Now, a spokesperson for the State Department said, no, that's false. This is authored by the United States. And Marco Rubio kind of added to that here. Rubio insisted that it was authored by the United States and that they had input from Ukraine and Russia. Well, I mean, this seems like a mess. What do you make of this?
Well, it is a mess, and they need to come clean. And the fact is that if this was the president's, if this is the administration's proposal to solve this Ukrainian war, it's no wonder that he declared bankruptcy 7 times. This is a bad, bad, bad deal for Ukraine. It's a bad deal. Rubio knows it's a bad deal, but I don't know that he's got the kahunas to stand up and say this is a bad deal. God bless Mike Rounds. That's all I'm going to tell you, for just telling the truth, because there ain't much truth left in Congress. And I really appreciate Mike for at least calling out what he knows is factual and just telling the truth. I don't know. I mean, all the stuff that's happened here is crazy. And when it comes to Russia and Ukraine, and Russia trying to take Ukraine back and try to reestablish the Soviet bloc, it's one of the reasons why all the countries around have tried to join NATO, because they don't like living like Russians live. They lived like that for a long time, and they got their independence, and they don't want to go back, and they're willing to fight and die for it. And that's what the Ukrainians are doing. Unfortunately, they're fighting against a person who has no moral values whatsoever in Vladimir and Putin. I'm sorry.
So pro-Ukraine Republicans have spoken out against this, including Senator Roger Wicker as well. And Representative Don Bacon put this up, basically comparing this to 1938 Munich. And that was an agreement that gave Nazi Germany territory from Czechoslovakia with the promise they wouldn't try to expand further. We all know what happened after that.
Yeah.
So this is something we're going to watch. Apparently there were, what we're hearing are productive talks. So we'll see what kind of comes out of this. But certainly that 60 Minutes piece was eye-opening. We're going to talk more with Senator Mark Kelly about that as well. Two stories, though, I did not have on my bingo card this weekend, Senator. First, a very chummy Oval Office meeting between President Donald Trump and New York City Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani. And they both said, we agree on more than I thought we would have. That's what the president said. I think this mayor can do some great things that are going to be really great. This has caused the MAGA world to go into somewhat of a tailspin.
Yeah, well, I know maybe the circle connected up. I don't know. Maybe the far left and the far right connected up. Remember, Trump, as was pointed out to me on MSNBC here last week, was a Democrat at one point in time. I don't know. I mean, the truth is that I'll just say this. I mean, Trump isn't wrong all the time, and Mamdani isn't wrong all the time, and maybe they connected up on the things they agree with.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we'll see how that goes. Did you see, though, he was sporting a new outfit yesterday?
Who, Trump or Mamdani?
Trump. He looked a little bit more like Mamdani.
Oh, really?
He was wearing like a kind of a suave scarf and just a little bit different than his normal look. So people are saying that he's trying to look more like him.
Oh, cool. Well, look, I mean, Mamdani is a self-proclaimed democratic socialist, and some of the actions that Trump has done is absolutely socialism, taking control of countries, talking about we're just going to cut companies. I'm sorry, not countries, companies, taking control of companies. We got to Venezuela way too quick. Taking control of companies. God, now you made me lose my thought process.
Sorry.
Writing checks out to people because his tariffs are destroying families. All that stuff smacks of socialism.
Okay, so here's the other story that I did not have on my bingo card this weekend, and I called you about this, and we're just going to play it here.
While Republicans will likely lose the midterms, and in turn be expected to defend the president against impeachment after he hatefully dumped tens of millions of dollars against me and tried to destroy me. It's all so absurd and completely unserious. I refuse to be a battered wife, hoping it all goes away and gets better.
Okay, so that was a snippet of a video from Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene in which she announced that she is resigning in January. If you didn't watch the whole 10-minute video, you might think she's walked back a lot, and she has, but not totally. The first 8 minutes of the video, she rails against what she calls the radical left in many arenas. And then she lists the areas that she's disagreed with President Trump. Of course, mostly the Epstein files. And this comes after this big public feud that the president had with her. And he went after her again, calling her Marjorie Trader Brown over the weekend on Truth Social. So we're seeing Mamdani get more love than MTG. And now she's resigning before her term is up.
Yeah, look, I appreciate what she said about not putting up with the garbage that has been dumped on her. But I think this was a lesson to be learned by all the folks that have come into line behind President Trump and done everything he's asked them to do. I'm talking about people in Congress, because the minute they go against him, he goes after him with daggers and tries to destroy him. And for that reason, if I was her, I would not have resigned myself. I would have said, no, you're not, I'm not going to make it easy on you. Now, there are claims out there she might be running for governor of Georgia. I don't know if those are true or not. I did leave a call on her phone. I think it was her phone yesterday, asking her to come on our show.
I emailed her too, all her press people. So we're trying.
And I would love to have her on, because quite frankly, I had the same wrath from President Trump, because he put up a VA secretary that was not fit for the job, and I balked, and he went bazooties. So we have some things in common there.
Wait, he went what? What did you say?
He went Trump. How's that?
No, what did you say?
I said bazooties. Okay, it's a very, very common word that they use in Kenilworth, Montana. Okay, so oh, good. But the truth is that it's just, he disagreed with her. And by the way, I think she's right on the Epstein files. I think they should be released. I think the truth will set you free. And if you're concerned about you being in those, or your wife being in those files, then too bad. You do the crime, you pay the time. Okay, so that's what it is.
Okay, so the last story I have, I mean, there was so much we could have talked about. There's just a lot happening, including, and I didn't have time to really dig into this deeply, but on X over the weekend, apparently they unveiled a new feature in an effort to be more transparent that listed the origin countries of some top accounts. And many of the top mega influencer accounts are coming from other countries like Nigeria and China and Russia. So we're going to dig into that a little bit more. It's still developing, and a lot of people are talking about that online. But here's
There's a thing, Marisa. You have to ask yourself, why would they do this?
Right.
Why did they want to influence? What is their advantage? And I have my own thoughts on that. I don't think we're paying near enough attention to Russia, China, North Korea, or Iran anymore. I think it's focused mostly on domestic and not enough on foreign. And I think that is a huge problem if we have another president, for the next president of the United States, quite frankly, because he's pushed away all our traditional allies. I don't think it'd be good. We will talk to Kelly about this too, because he's on our services. But I don't think we're paying near enough attention to the folks who are the true threats to our democracy.
Okay, so the last headline I have that I want to talk about has to do with education. Last week, we had Randi Weingarten on, of course, the president of the American Federation of Teachers, to talk about the newest attempts at dismantling the Department of Education. Well, right after that, we learned more about the impact. So there's a new change to what the federal government considers a professional degree. So if your degree isn't considered professional, it will mean you don't qualify for as much financial support or student loan access. Okay, so here are the degrees that are affected. Oops, not that one. This is what happens when you're your own producer.
Wrong finger.
Wrong click. Okay. Nursing, physician assistants, physical therapists, audiologists, architects, accountants, educators, social workers.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know where to start and where to end, but all those are bad choices. Every damn one of them. Come to rural America. Every one of those things we need. We haven't had a doctor in my hometown for probably 40 years. And you know who's replaced them? Physician assistants. It costs money to go to school to become a physician assistant. For decades, we have not had enough nurses. But this president, because he can buy what he wants, says, no, we got plenty of nurses. That's wrong. Social workers, you know what, when it comes to mental health, the Montana and Alaska are number 1, 2 in suicides. We've got all sorts of mental health issues, not just in those rural states, but in states all over this country. In fact, it's a huge issue. Social workers, mental health go hand in hand. When I was chairing the VA committee, we didn't have enough psychiatrists and psychologists. Social workers were the ones who were helping fill in that gap. And
Mhm.
the list goes on and on. Every damn one of those occupations that he put on that list, I don't know who made that list. I don't believe Trump made that list, but somebody who made that list is absolutely out of touch with reality. Absolutely out of touch.
Yeah, so these definitions are being used while discussing kind of student loan caps that are outlined in that. What do you call it? That bill? What do you call that bill?
The big, beautiful bullshit bill.
Yeah, that one.
It's just
So if you can't afford college, your family doesn't have money, you don't have money saved up, and you want to go into these programs, you're going to be in trouble. So this is all happening right now. It would take effect July 1st. There's a whole other issue um, about other programs like journalism, also that you like if you qualify for certain federal grants, that you have to prove that you would make more in those programs than if you didn't go into those programs. Let me tell you what, if you're going into journalism or social work in the first few years, you're not going to make more than somebody who didn't at the start.
Well, I'm not so sure that doesn't even apply after you've been in the business for a few years. Take a
Well,
look
100%.
at teachers. I mean, teachers that have taught their entire lifetime, they're making food stamp wages. I mean, and I'd say the same thing for journalists. In fact, journalists might get paid less than teachers. So it's crazy. But this is going to exacerbate. If you let's just healthcare for an example. Didn't do anything on the premiums. Premiums are going through the roof. So being able to buy insurance is going to become a thing of the past for a lot of these working families. And now we're going to take away the people out there that are delivering services like physicians' assistants and nurses and social workers. Are you kidding me? This is making America great again? Give me a break.
Yeah, this is a lot of people have pointed out too that it's a lot of female dominated professions. So there's a lot to talk about. We are going to take a beat here. We are going to go record our conversation with Senator Mark Kelly. We will post that later today. We want to thank everyone for being with us, though, doing some headlines with us. Sorry, I was a little discombobulated. In the Milwaukee airport, they have a recombobulation zone, and I think I need that this morning.
So here's the deal. We've talked about some pretty heavy stuff today. Tell me something that's good that's happening, Maritza. Come
on. You're wearing a shirt that says Project Pink Lungs.
Exactly. That's good. Yeah, I mean, everybody deserves to have pink lungs, right?
We need to have somebody on our thread post something good that's going on. Sam says, have a great day. You know what? I have a mama deer in my yard, and she's been there all weekend. That's been nice. And
you're sure it's not Rudolph?
No, Rudolph's at the North Pole.
Okay, all right, keep going.
Cheryl says they need more trade schools and classes like we had, wood shop, mechanics, etc. She loves you, John. Nice. Cheryl loves you. That's good. Oh, Mara, yeah, that's right. It's Thanksgiving week.
It is.
That's good news.
Well, I tried to give you a little hint with the Rudolph thing, so I'm glad you picked that up.
Sorry. You guys, I am out of it. My dog was up not feeling well all night, so I am not very with it today. Yes, yeah. It's Thanksgiving week. We're going to have good feasts. Hopefully you don't have too many terrible political chats at your Thanksgiving table.
Don't do it. Just focus on the weather. That'll be a lot more fun to talk about.
Or do what Sharon McMahon says and go, well, that's interesting. Or so I've heard that. Or some people like that. Or those are some good diffusers. Okay, we want to thank everybody. What does your hat say?
You know why I'm wearing this hat? Can you see it?
Big, dry Angus Ranch. I have a feeling I know why.
Why?
Does it have to do with the pet I tried to buy from you this weekend?
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, that's right.
Tell our friends what you did.
I'm a carnivore, and I like good beef. And I butchered a really good beef this weekend. A lady out of Geraldine raised it. It's phenomenal. It looked great alive. It looks even better hanging on the cooler. And marvelous piece of beef. And Maritza wanted to buy it and run it with the wild horses that come into her backyard. But I
did try.
I'm not sure you'd have bought enough hay to be able to feed this animal.
Well, I tried. That's the only thing that matters. Okay, we want to thank you all for joining us. We hope you. I'm sorry, I forgot it's Thanksgiving week. Have
Yeah.
a really wonderful Thanksgiving. We certainly still have a lot to be thankful for, and I hope you just have a great week with family. You can find us here on Substack, Blue Sky, Instagram, YouTube. You can shoot us an email anytime at groundedpcast@gmail.com. We want to give a thank you to our guests for today. It's Senator Mark Kelly. We want to thank our friends at Pearl Jam for letting us use their music, and all of you who join us for these unfocused rants every week.
Have a great Thanksgiving with your family, folks.